Welcome, guys. Did you miss us?
To our Peacemaker pod. Oh, wait. No.
No.
Do
So we are gonna learn that dance, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's our
next
our Halloween dance.
Yeah. How are you guys doing? Oh, we want to ask you. Welcome to Brand to Watch. We don't do it in this spot, and we don't care how we're doing. We're going to right into this movie, guys. We haven't done one of these in a hot minute.
I know.
Okay, well, we're going to explain to you why we haven't done this movie.
Yeah, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we...
I'd like to hear that.
We tried to burn after watching Harry Potter, and it's just physically
It almost
impossible.
killed us. It almost killed us.
It's physically impossible.
I'm still going to use it for blackmail someday, like when you're like, I'm not going to help you with that, and I'm like, guess what's getting posted?
We couldn't do it, you guys. There's too much to talk about. So we went back to our regular terrible movies, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time that I haven't been able to see in a very long time because it wasn't streaming for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it got put on Hulu, and I got so excited because I watched this movie when it first came out. It was one of those movies that it would get released and they'd show it all summer long on TNT, and I would watch it every single time.
It was on original sci-fi before it had
right, exactly.
Let's burst these beers real quick.
Prost.
So before we go any farther with the movie,
good.
I just came up with a really great idea for that Harry Potter video. Is we'll do a watch party while eating a Lancian air, and we'll film that.
Okay.
We'll film us critiquing ourselves.
And we'll just call it the worst day of our lives.
And then we'll just kill ourselves after this. Yeah. Because we'll probably be dead anyway.
It'll be our suicide video. So.
Yeah. It'll be great.
This is a great movie. It is kind of a precursor to all the big animal movies. I feel like sci-fi was oh, this idea works. Let's make 1 million of these low-budget films.
Sharks, pterodactyls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start having them fight each other,
Okay.
Because this did come out right around Anaconda, and
and my Anaconda don't want now unless you got buns on.
Yeah.
The best first thing we found out about this movie, it is a stealth 82 minutes long.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice because I forgot to watch it until very late last night, and I was like, you know what? Chill.
Perfect. Yeah. We were oh, this is a nice short movie. So we open on. I do like that we're coming through the water. We're doing the whole water Jaws.
The music in this is pretty decent to start off.
They're just aping Jaws though for the most
part.
But
if it ain't broke,
just a little off.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And obviously, I love Jaws too. As well.
I've never seen this movie before this, by the way.
Yeah.
So I had zero expectations. I actually was thinking it was Deep Blue Sea for some reason. And then we started watching
where's Samuel Jackson?
Yeah. I was he's not in this movie.
But you guys, do you know who we do get? A young Brendan Gleeson.
Guys, you know what else is not in this movie though? Fucking Lake Placid. And
yeah.
There's a joke, one off joke in the movie, and you're like,
yep.
Really?
I was they're talking about Maine. I'm like, Lake Placid is not in Maine.
Lake Placid, New York, right? It was just another one.
And I'm like, is this Lake? And she's like, no, it's not Lake Placid. They just say it's Lake Placid, but the name was already taken. I was like, oh.
It's called Black Lake.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're coming up along Black Lake,
That's
and
part of the iceberg, guys. Part of the
Black
iceberg.
Lake.
Brendan
Lord of the Rings. Nice try.
Is the sheriff, and he's in the boat with the food.
A very all-American sheriff.
Yeah, and
named
he's
Hank.
Yeah, Hank. Keogh. Hank Keogh.
Yeah.
And
very American.
Yeah.
I'm from America.
Yeah, I'm from America, you guys.
I used to think like
what
wizards,
I sound
like dark wizards.
Yeah.
Think.
So but he's in the boat with a diver who's diving down to tag beavers.
Played by another famous British actor, Damian Lewis, from Billions, from Band of Brothers.
Yes.
This was his first movie, by the way.
Lewis. It was crazy, I know.
First movie.
And I told Jamie about this, and she's like, you should let me watch it with you. And I'm like,
no. Yeah.
Because she loves it.
He's
but also,
the first person to die.
What is this project? First of all, this is not a huge lake. It's a medium-sized lake.
Yeah.
It seems deep, but not deep.
But somehow has an outlet to the ocean?
Yep.
Okay. So then they're tagging beavers in this lake.
Oh, yeah, they were tagging them beavers, you know what I'm saying?
Because they were tracking, their, what they do
Trying
or
to see which one was the dirtiest beaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
So
What's
Damian Lewis's character, who works for the Fish and Game, he's a Fish and Game warden. He's going diving to tag these beavers, and So this is a great scene when he comes up to the beaver dam. I love this scene. So he's sticking his head in there. Well, first of all, he's swimming through the water and he sees something, but it's just a turtle.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's so funny.
It was not even a good jump scare because it's like you see the turtle, but it's like
Yeah.
it's just a turtle.
And then he goes sticking his head like up into the beaver dam, and this beaver jumks out and attacks him. And plus, it's the fakest beaver you've like ever seen. It was great. I love when they showed it like swimming away. It was like, like
okay, beaver.
But,
it's like a shit beaver pulling.
But I love it because it's so cheesy, right? But it also like the thing is, it also like catches you off guard because now you're like, oh, he got attacked by a beaver and a turtle, and then he's got his head up in the dam and he's looking after the beaver babies.
Well, and I'm like, they're not gonna kill Damian Lewis, right? Like, he's a star.
I think so. This is like maybe his first movie. Yeah. I think. By the way, the thing we were killed by was Brendan Gleeson's accent. His American accent was almost as bad as Charlie Hunnam's Pacific Rim American accent.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I don't know what he's trying to do here, but he is failing on all levels. Like,
well, he's probably in Hollywood because he has an accent, because a lot of times, that's a useful thing to have.
It was not there, though.
But they were like, yeah, no, we want you to be a sheriff accent from Maine, and he's like...
You got it. I'll just do my regular voice.
Yeah.
Eat a dick. How about that?
Yeah. So, but yeah, poor Damian Lewis, he gets bitten and taken, sticking his head up in that beaver dam.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, maybe he's okay. Like, he kind of pops out of the water, and you're like, oh, no, he in half.
I mean, half of him was fine.
Yeah, half of him. He had like ramen noodles hanging out.
So he comes up to the boat, and he kind of like pulls up to the boat, and then Hank pulls him. The sheriff pulls him out of the water, and he's dead. He did. And he's like, what could have done it? So then we go immediately to New York City.
New York City.
Yeah, to the Museum of Natural History.
With Mariska Hargitay in this scene, guys.
Which, by the way...
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. Like, what the hell?
Like, I was fully into... I was like, please let her be more in this movie. She was not.
She was in one scene.
Incorrect. She was not.
I just paused it.
I mean, correct.
I just paused it. You know what I'm saying? I just paused it.
So...
Anyway, brum, brum, brum.
But you guys... The sexiest 90s lady, Bridget Fonda, is our main leading lady.
I should have looked it up because I was like, who the fuck is this person?
She had to tell me. I was like, I forgot about Bridget Fonda.
Yeah, of course. We almost all forgot about Bridget Fonda.
Thin-ass lips.
Literally, the only reason I really remember her is this movie, and I did see, what was the one with the nut job?
The nut job?
Single white female. I have seen Single White Female. She's
she looks like if you were to if you're like, I want to visualize white supremacy. Like, or WASP.
See, I was thinking, like, she looks like a old-timey elf from Lord of the Rings, like one of the First Age ones. Just, like, haughty.
But not one of the famous ones, though.
No.
They're like one of the ones that's like, I shovel shit.
So,
in
you guys,
Noldor.
Her character, whose name I didn't write down, actually.
Kelly.
Super white lady name.
Like,
yeah.
you were on the names today.
She finds out from her best friend, who also works there, that she's also sleeping with their, like, married boss. So she was having an affair with her boss.
But she was sleeping with her first.
Yeah, she was
sleeping with her first. And they stopped, but then they wanted to get back together.
Yeah, but then,
So this really, it's already just stupid and weird. You're like, okay.
No, it's terrible.
Right. Also, very, 90s writing was like, everyone just wants that older boss character
who does not, he's not hot or anything like that.
He was not attractive.
Yeah.
So, but then he comes to her later and he's like, listen, the fish and game, department or whatever, agency. I'm trying to think of what they're called. The fish and game.
Yeah.
Fish and wildlife.
Fish and wildlife agency. Yep. I don't.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
We got it.
So.
This isn't Marshall Willenhall, right?
They found a tooth. There was a man attacked up in Maine, and they found a tooth inside of him, and they want you to go look at it. Now, there's no way you would go to Maine to look at this tooth. They would send you the tooth.
She is a paleontologist.
Yeah.
She's not a fucking zoologist.
Yeah.
She's not
or cryptozoologist.
Or a herpetologist.
Or
because they already know that it's like some sort, they think it's a reptile.
Yeah.
Get a herpetologist. No, the paleontologist from a New York museum.
Yeah.
What?
This movie's not even trying. Okay?
What? Like, what? I was like, okay, I'm just gonna... Yeah.
She's literally there just to be a sexy lady.
Yeah, they were thinking of zoologist or cryptozoologist.
Mission kind of accomplished, right?
Yeah.
But also an update city folk, believe me.
Right, exactly, right.
From New York City.
Every scene.
She's from New York City.
So yeah, her boss is like, no. Her boss is like, no. We're gonna send you. He's like, it's best if you get some time away, you know,
because I'm banging Mr. Hunger now.
Yeah, and you're, just harshing our vibe here. Yeah. So he sends her up to Maine, and of course she, has, the can of bug spray, the Raid, spraying it around.
Raid into the air.
Yeah, and, freaking out because of mosquitoes.
Raid is not going to help you in the air.
Her makeup was ridiculous. It was so 90s. It wasn't even funny. She had on, red lipstick with, dark
Jennifer Aniston Friends.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Then we get the heartthrob of this movie.
Yeah.
Fish and Wildlife.
Warden,
Jack. Bill Pullman. Jack Pullman.
Yeah, I don't think he has the last name.
The President of the United States, obviously.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing the exact same clothes he wore in the Independence Day speech scene,
Yeah.
so I was like, okay.
Today, we're going to catch a crocodile.
He's like, I already also... By the way, he is dense as fuck. At one point, he asked if it is a beaver that bit the guy in half. He's like, did a beaver do this? And Brendan Gleeson has to be like, no.
Are you fucking kidding me, man? I'm breaking character.
Also, you're the fish and game warden, so shouldn't you know that?
It was a giant beaver. Guys, what if this had been a giant beaver?
Would
this have been a better movie?
Yes. Like a giant monster beaver.
It's like...
A beaver fucked a crocodile. They made this thing.
It made a dam 40 feet tall.
Yeah. So of course they meet, and he's like the tough country guy, and she's like, I'm from the city.
I hate bugs
and she's allergic to timber.
Yeah. That's a thing.
That's a line she said.
I know. That's a thing.
Also, whoever, I don't know if Brendan Gleeson wrote his own lines for this, because he keeps saying weird fucking shit.
Yeah.
One of the things he says, you're a comedian sarcastic. I'm like, that's not a thing. That's not a term in that sense.
No that's not even a term in England.
I'm not sure who wrote that line, but I'm upset.
He's like, I'm gonna ad-lib here.
There were a lot of stupid lines.
He's being a mental. Like, what?
They go to look at the body, and of course she's freaking out because she can't handle things because she's so uptight.
Her character changes literally during the scenes, which I can't help. I'm really brave now.
But then she's like, but I used to go in the woods all the time as a kid or something like that. And you're like, then why are you?
Later,
and my dad's a surgeon. I'm like,
what? But I'm saying
I'm saying
the change of her scenes is
this is like when someone plays D&D but doesn't write backstory for the character, so they can just my dad's a surgeon, so I can pick locks. And
you mean
wait, what?
Are you talking about the TV show Manifest?
She's basically Ben's the female Ben Stone, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is. So then they go to visit this old woman who lives on the lake because her husband is gone, and they think maybe she saw something.
Fatty motherfucking white people.
So I'm pretty sure this is why they ended up adding it to Hulu, because anything with Betty in it, they're putting out there now.
Sure.
So thank you, Betty White, dying, I guess.
Thanks for dying.
But yeah, I was so excited because she had all of her animals. And she was talking to them very, very
she was playing a sweet gullible role, that's her.
But also straight up because she was like, I killed him because he was losing his mind, and
I got assisted suicide. It's tight.
I'd say, and so she's under arrest for murder, right?
No, they all just
none of them are police officers, really, right? What's a sheriff?
A sheriff. Yeah, that counts.
That's not a real police officer.
That counts.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of glad that he was like, well, whatever, he's dead. No one's asking about him.
He's like, you must be some sort of sarcastic mental.
I'm kind of glad he was the worst police officer that ever lived.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they decide they have to camp out by the lake.
Oh, but first we get the line where they're like, the lake is so still and black, and he's like it's so placid.
Mm-hmm.
We would have called it Lake Placid, but that name was taken.
We wanted to
roll
call
credits,
it
roll credits,
and everyone just looked at the camera for a second, then turned back.
Roll the credits.
Okay. Yeah, so they're camping.
As they go to start camping,
she's an uptight woman.
We're gonna get another person dropped into this motley crew.
This shows up.
Wait, we haven't even talked about Meredith Salinger yet.
Oh yeah, she's one of the other...
She's the police officer, yeah.
By the way, Meredith Salinger, guys.
Why not? Right?
She's like, I'm a horny officer, I guess. Yeah. That's what her
I mean, that's like any female in any movie, right?
Yeah.
I want that dick. Yeah.
So she's talking to this female deputy, who, of course, her outfit was, of course, different. And her hair was all sexy. I'm like, whatever.
Sexy officer.
So anyway,
this is one of your favorite movies.
It was in 1990. aged a little. I'm like, But anyway. So she's talking to her and she's like, she goes, the men out in the country aren't like they say they are, right? She goes, they don't go all horny like Deliverance, do they?
I wrote that down because they don't turn all horny like Deliverance. I'm like,
I was like, we get it. She's a stuck-up bitch.
Seriously, no, like, we get it. You are terrible.
We got it.
And then, also, like, who are they trying to hook with that reference?
Yeah. So, of course, Bill Pullman's character hears her, and he's like, we're not all, assholes up here or whatever. And she's like, I get it. I'm not welcome. And it's like, you're not welcome because you're being a bitch to everyone. Like, no one's been rude to you.
Yeah, no one at all has been rude to you.
Like, the sheriff's been, like, gruff, but he's like that with everybody.
Maybe it's her timber allergy. Like,
maybe that's making her,
affecting her. Right. That's good thinking.
But guys, then I wrote Platt attack. Because guys, the best part of this movie, I 100% do not mean this in any like sarcastic way.
Yeah.
Oliver Platt shows up, and you're like,
in a fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I forgot, like, because I watched this in 2 parts, and when the helicopter came back, I'm like, where the fuck did the helicopter come from again? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's Oliver Platt's helicopter.
It's Oliver Platt.
It's Hector.
In his gator copter. It's painted like a gator.
He looks like a Hector.
Because he almost worships alligators. This guy loves alligators. Or crocodiles so much. He does. Kelly claims that he has seen every crocodile in the world.
Yes.
And
he's never been injured by one. He's never been injured by one, which is something for later.
Yeah.
One of the things he says when he meets Brendan Gleeson, when he meets Sheriff Keogh, he goes, "The Earth is round, and so should you be."
Yeah, no, they say the weirdest things.
Well, he calls him fat like
multiple times.
And I'm like,
and it's like, and you're literally the same build except shorter.
But
like,
also,
dude, you're
everything's
fat
supposed
too.
to be funny, but that joke does not.
But also, the Earth is round, and so should you be.
Yeah, the Earth
is
round, and so should you be.
That doesn't mean anything. That's like fucking Yoda. Like, what are we talking? Who wrote this?
No, I mean he's insane.
I feel like someone translated this from a different language back to English.
This is probably written in like a Norwegian sailor.
Yeah.
That's one of our sayings.
The Earth is round, and so should you be.
What you say was Huygen.
I wrote a couple of things he said down because they were pretty...
It's funny because Mateo was so excited for him to be in the movie, and then you really didn't like his character.
I hated it.
He also immediately claims that he had sex with Kelly, and she's like, wait,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, she's not even upset, she's like, wait, what?
I love how she, like, knows who he is, too, and it's like...
Fully knows who this guy is.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in the same circles, like,
She says he's eccentric.
That's
what eccentric people do. They say weird things.
She's a paleontologist, remember? Not a herpetologist, which I think maybe like someone said like, oh, she's a herpetologist, and like, oh, that's no.
They won't know what that is. Yeah,
she's not like herpes. We can't put that in there.
And like then we could be like, oh, it's a dinosaur, so she's a paleontologist.
But they couldn't even have said like cryptozoologist because they talked about it being possibly a dinosaur tooth. And there's nothing there. It's just like okay.
I'm like okay, well that's fine.
Yeah, she's like it's a reptile. Yeah. So
he checks the world to swim with crocodiles.
He shows up. Hector Sear shows up. And I
thought you said Sear, which was a much better name. I thought of Jackie Daytona. I was hoping it was like, hi, it's me, American crocodile hunter.
Or Henry Seattle, what's his name? Henry Seattle?
No, Robert California.
No, from Murderville.
No, Murderville, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Detective Seattle there.
Yeah.
We just started watching so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but Jamie's like, I'm done, I just wanted to watch the Conan one. I was like, okay.
Oh, the next one is
they're all terrific.
Yeah.
They're all terrific.
She's lame. I love you, baby.
We get another fat joke, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like,
no.
He is bigger than freaking Brendan Gleeson.
Multiple fat jokes, and it's ridiculous.
I don't get, was this supposed to be a really skinny guy that was doing this part?
Yeah, like,
really
Damian Lewis is originally playing that part, and they're like, you're just not charismatic enough. We need to get this Oliver Platt guy in here.
What if it was, like, supposed to be Bill Murray? I could see that.
Oliver Murray. Oliver Platt's a real ladies' man. Every lady is just like,
he's into it.
And Mary sounds, you're definitely into him.
Give me that platypus, baby.
So you get the point that he's like a real asshole. He just wants to do stuff that way that he wants to do it. He's super rich. He thinks he gets everything he wants.
And eccentric.
So they go out in canoes to like survey the lake.
Yeah. This thing's
Not
crazy.
a fucking one of them is wearing a life jacket.
Yeah.
Which
why would you?
Is garbage.
This nice
no,
motorboat.
You're required to have a life.
Required. Maybe not Maine.
Maybe not Maine. In the 90s,
maybe not Maine. Maybe Maine didn't care.
90s Maine was like, you
don't have to have a seatbelt in Maine either in cars. Right. That's a rule. That's the thing. By the way, this crocodile fucks this boat. It's like,
Yeah.
boom! Like,
Yeah, he just like bops it. He gives it a bop.
He bops it like she shoots into the air, lets the water.
And at this point, I'm like, oh, this is getting like Jaws style. Like, because like in Jaws, anyone that's seen any of the Jaws movies, Jaws is just a dick.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing it for anything. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Fucks boats and stuff. So, the crocodile's gonna be like, but that's really the only time he does this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only time he does it, and then he doesn't attack.
No, and then none of them die. They're all 4 major characters, so none of them. I'm like, how did they swim back? He didn't attack any of them?
It was funny. Anytime this movie you saw something that wasn't the main character, like, that guy's dead.
Yeah,
fuck your boat. And then he's like, bye-bye. Like,
so,
okay, thanks,
but
asshole.
they get back to shore and they're walking through the woods and they find a toe. And I actually really like...
way too long scene with this.
No, but I do love this exchange. I did find this hilarious when I was younger. No, he's like, does this look like the man... He goes, does this look like the man who was killed? And then he goes... He seemed taller, and as a 14-year-old girl, I just thought
he also called him a fuck shit, which
I think you're a mental.
That's like another thing no one says, but I love it.
Yeah.
Fuck shit.
So then that's when he gets his tent set up. Of course, his tent is like fancy and it's got all the stuff inside there, and like a dance party. Like all of the officers.
Also, Oliver Platt says, "I hope you live a long time because the longer you live, the more time you get to have sex with your sister." Dude, fucking wow. He's like, well, the thing is, too, is like, he'll be like, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? And then you fuck your sister. Like, whoa, man.
He's like, you should go blow your dad, asshole.
Like, what is going on with these? Like, this guy is, he is mental. Like, he's like, going like, not even, bipolar is not the word for it. Like, he's just like switching back and forth between like, I'm nice, I'm gonna, like, fuck you. Like, why? Why do you do that?
He's just a rich guy. He's like, when I like you, I'm nice to you.
Yeah,
and
but
when I don't like you, I'm
what about
to
him besides maybe a large tent and a helicopter makes you think he's rich? Like, he's close like a shit.
Yeah, he looks, like he smells very bad.
He smells real bad.
Well, you guys, that is like a rich person thing to like not wash yourself. So
I'm too rich.
He's like a Robert Durst.
Yeah. Good. Oh, good.
So everyone, this is like getting nighttime. Kelly's
like,
Kelly's got the old-fashioned jammies on. I know. That was
Meredith Downstairs' character. He goes when Brendan Gleeson, when Sheriff Keogh makes him leave, he goes, "Oh, could she stay? We were hoping to mate."
Yeah.
To mate.
Yeah, and she's just like, hey,
she's like,
I'm just a lady.
I wanted to impregnate
yeah.
Like,
ooh, God. But yeah, so there's a little exchange here where she's got on her like old-fashioned PJs and her sweater, and she's telling him about how they used to go stay at her grandparents' lake house, and I'm like, so you loathe nature and you're allergic to everything, but you used to love nature. Yeah, like what the hell?
And like, also, is there a backstory here? No. That's it.
No, yeah.
End story.
Yeah, she's just like, I used to go to my grandparents' lake house, and
also, was it developing a love story? I guess.
Maybe.
I'm like, I guess that I like ice breaks for the two leads. I don't know what this seems about.
I think this is the slowest burn love story, especially for an 82-minute movie.
Also, like, let's be honest, Bill Pullman, like, who does he have chemistry with ever? Like, love-wise, anyway. Like,
me during Independence Day. We're going to live on.
No,
we're going to survive.
With Jeff Goldblum, Independence Day.
Well, that's just Jeff Goldblum has chemistry with
everyone. No, you're right.
He's like,
it's true.
I have a cigar.
Like, tell me that you watched Thor Ragnarok and you were like, can you just fuck somebody in this movie, please?
So I love.
You can be my grandmaster any day.
So I love the sheriff goes out to pee in the middle of the night, and they literally added pee steam effect. Unless they had him pee in front of the camera.
No, because they didn't. I noticed that because like he does like a very fake like zip up your pants thing, and like there's no pit. And his pulls his underwear up. And there's like no pee.
That pee steam is like in his face. Like,
I'm like, why did they add this? What was the point of this?
I think that was probably one of the best effects I've seen in one of our Brad for watching movies.
It's like, why was this?
It was much better than the actual crocodile effect scenes that they had later.
He freaks out because he finds, what's his face?
Just in the woods taking a shit.
No, Hector was laying traps in the middle of the night. Yeah. Remember, because earlier he had two of the deputies like digging a hole trying to catch the thing.
Shouldn't you tell somebody who might have to guard the perimeter that there's traps there?
100%. 100%.
No, guys, this sets up fun gags.
Of course it does.
Fun gags,
of course it does. So we have another thing in the morning where she clearly is already, like, attracted to him. And I'm like, this woman has issues. Like, she fucked her last boss. Yeah. And now she's interested in you.
Any guy with like a little bit of testosterone is like, oh, give me that.
Yeah, she's probably got like daddy issues.
Yeah, maybe
like,
she did have sex with Hector. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I believe it by the end of the movie. Sure.
After you get the full Hector effect.
The full Hector effect.
And this is when we find out that Hector thinks the crocs are godly.
Yeah, because he's like looked into their eyes.
Because he's seen every crocodile in the world.
So they're back out in the lake, and
this lake is gorgeous. The trees all around and stuff like this. I remember just watching the scene. I was like, "This is a nice, cool."
I'm not sure where this was filmed, but it does. It feels a lot like Maine, like with the kind of untamed wild and stuff. Maybe like some of the lighting. I was like, maybe this was filmed in Maine.
Maybe. So they go out again, and another deputy comes with them. So he's gonna.
Yeah, that guy is 100% dead.
I put evil croc grabbing that engine too.
Yeah. So they're out in the boat, and the crocodile like attacks the boat again.
Well, first they find a dead ass moose head.
Oh yeah, and it of course like he pulls it up into the boat,
and it's like very much like in moose head with antlers and like, oh look, it's like a tree in the water. Yeah. Like no, this is definitely antlers. Like,
but I love that he pulls it up into the boat, and she's like, "You threw it at me! Get it on me!" It's like, oh my god.
It's like okay,
it's because she's one of them city folk.
Yeah, right. She did have like open toe shoes in the woods. I'm like, what are you doing?
And she was wearing like a white dress shoe during one of the scenes where they're walking through mud. And I'm like, okay,
what are you doing?
We get it. Yeah. We get it. Like she's from New York City. We get it.
She didn't know what to wear.
Water.
Yeah. So they're walking around the lake trying to follow where this crocodile might be. And all of a sudden, as they're walking through, this bear comes by, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's a big old fattened bear!"
That's a big bear.
Yeah,
grizzly.
And they were kind of like standing on the edge of the lake, and the bear came at them, and they moved away from the edge of the lake. But then the bear was standing here on the edge of the lake, and then what happened? This is like where all of the budget went to was like the 2 scenes that they had 3D effects in, and honestly. They hold up pretty well for 1999. I mean, they weren't fantastic, but,
Here's my problem, though. Alligators don't need to eat that much. That's crocodile. No. True. Crocodiles don't need to eat that much either.
Yeah.
Either way...
He had already eaten half a dude.
He'd already eaten half a dude. And then he's going to eat a goddamn bear, like a full-size grizzly. He's not going to even eat for like a year after that.
Well, like I said, he's just being a dick at this point. Like, he's just playing his food, you know what I'm saying?
Like, what the fuck, man?
And plus and we'll find out later. Well, I guess we'll get to that scene. But like, there's a person feeding him as well.
Well, yeah.
What the fuck?
So,
guys, can we call anything that Oliver Platt says in here platitudes?
Platitudes, yeah. So there's a lot of platitudes coming up because now that the sheriff and him have like had a near-death experience, now they're like best friends, kind of. Until he steps into another one of his traps.
And this is sort of realistic because he is turned upside down and he like kind of passes out a little bit, which is what would actually happen if you were flipped upside down that quickly. So I kind of like that.
It would be fun.
And I'm glad they had a stuntman do that stunt too, and I was like, oh shit, he's gonna hit his head. I was like very scared that stuntman was gonna hit, but he was okay.
They knew their snare traps.
Yeah, he knew how to lift himself up too, and not like he was like,
So I was like, don't smack your head, please.
But yeah, he's hanging there, and he's like, I can't let him down because I'm afraid he'll hurt me. And of course, he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. And he's like, oh, just pull on him. It's a counterweight. Just pull on him. So they pull him down, and then of course he goes after him, and he's like, you said you wouldn't hurt me. He's like, I lied. But then they literally like become best friends after that.
They had. I wanted to see them have sex.
No, they had way better chemistry.
They probably did have sex.
Yeah.
Hector's about to get it on anything.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He's rubbing up against the crocodile's prone body.
So while they were getting attacked, Bill Pullman's character got cut on his arm. Yeah, and he was like trying to fix it, and she's like, "Oh, I can take care of that for you."
Because she knows how to sew.
Because she's a woman. She
didn't sew.
Her dad was a surgeon.
She just used like the little butterfly.
But the woman got so she
would by osmosis be a surgeon as well.
Yeah. Right, like he would show her how to sew people up.
Yeah.
He's like, honey, little honey, I'm going to show you how to sew somebody's arm.
At her grandparents' summer home. Yeah. That's one of the things.
Okay, sure.
She could go outside.
So was her dad like
definitely Ben Stoney?
Her dad was a mob surgeon. That's what it was, right?
Nice. Yeah.
He'd bring people home, and he'd have to. Yeah, exactly. So at one point, they're again going to look for the crocodile, and I'm trying to remember how it happens. Does it, like, fall into her lap, or she, like, trips over it, but the one guy's head, like, falls on her?
Bert, who was the red shirt police officer from the last scene, who got his head
And she goes,
off.
I keep getting hit with heads!
She like, it got kicked by mistake, I think, or something.
Oh, okay, and, like, hit her or something.
It was in, like, a little patch of bullshit.
And and it got, like, kicked in the head, and I was like, I keep getting hit with heads.
Yeah. Cool.
And, like, that's a joke that needed to be said.
So this was the first time that I realized the helicopter was painted like a crocodile. But anyway, he's like, I want to go swimming with it. I'm going to go find it and go swimming with it. So Hector goes out swimming with the crocodile. And guess what? It comes up right behind him, but it doesn't hurt him, you guys. It just looks into his eyes. Because he's
I really thought Meredith Sanders was going to get eaten at this point. I thought her character was done for. And no. She's a high enough level character that she wants to get
Also, maybe this was a part where he was like, I don't need to eat right now. And so that's why he just left.
Which is, yes, that.
That's what he should have been doing. But also, then he should have just been not around. Because why would he want to even show himself?
Right.
But wait. I can't see
Well,
we're getting there.
The thing is that no one, except for one person, knows about this crocodile at all.
Right.
And it has been there for a long time.
Right.
Because no one lives in the lake, man.
Right, only her. She's the only person with a house
Well,
in
there's
the lake.
no one who's ever been in this lake or took a boat in it
So
or
right now,
swam
I
in
guess?
it or anything.
Well, you
There's
guys,
never
because
even
we
Lewis.
find out while they're walking around the lake trying to get back to camp, they come upon her house again, and she's bringing a cow down to get some water at
Just
the
get
lake.
murdered.
Just no. At first they're like, oh, she's
It
taking
did not look
the
like that
get
cow
some
did not
water.
want to be there.
Yeah. And no, she was taking the cow down to get chomped on.
Get book. But by the way, like, cows are not like, you just do like, oh, I have this cow. Like, you have to raise a cow over many years.
Yeah.
Is she running out of cows?
Yeah,
Because
you have to be like,
it takes a couple years for it to grow that
The
big.
yard was not that big for like a ton of cows.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Is this like a yearly treat? Like it's happy birthday, you got a cow or
so
something?
they find out that her husband was actually eaten by the crocodile, and that she just kept feeding it because
She also says to the sheriff, if I had a dick, this is where I tell you to suck it.
Great lines for Betty. She was looking good.
I
loved it.
All right.
Because she's basically like, he's like a pet. Like, she's like, he's, if...
She also calls him Officer Fuckmeat.
It's great.
Shit.
Fine.
It's a small Maine town. They're like...
She doesn't call him fatty.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. But anyway, they decide they're gonna, so...
This was the Platt swimming.
So the Fish and Game Association or whatever decides they're gonna come kill this thing because, like, it's too big, it shouldn't be there anymore, it's definitely there, they need to come kill it. And, of course, Hector and Kelly are like, we can take it back to the ocean, which is like, why would you take it to the ocean? Like, it shouldn't be there either.
But also, this thing is obviously, and this is a
crocodile.
fucking lake.
But they've already said that this crocodile must have swam across
from Asia.
So
they're in Maine.
Yeah.
There is actually a standing theory that crocodiles swam from Western Africa to South America.
Sure,
yeah,
why not?
back in the day.
Why not, though, right?
But that's a long way.
Yeah.
Even if this is big croc. This croc does not look like it's in swimming shape either. It's pretty.
Well, he's just been living there for a little bit.
He's got a thick, chunky dumper from all those cows.
So,
maybe he's more svelte back in the day.
So, but they're like, we can catch it. They're like, if we can get close enough, we can trank it and put it on his tanker that he has and take it out to the ocean, basically. He's like, we can take it out to the ocean.
Does anyone want to see, like the prequel to this where that crocodile is getting, like, he's going around the Cape of the Horn?
There is a Lake Placid
going up
2, which I'm pretty sure was a sci-fi original movie.
There is, it's in there.
Yeah.
Also, the crocodiles can swim up to 10 miles a day, so that's a fuck long time.
It took 17 years to get to me.
That's a long time.
And also, like, so like it didn't try and go to like Florida first. Is that what happened with it? Plus, also the Gulf Stream goes the opposite way.
It's like I want to be colder.
Okay, Christ, I don't even know what's.
I like seasons. Like okay, that's weird. Pumpkin spice bitches.
Exactly.
I like the foliage.
I want to see the foliage. Yeah.
I love foliage.
See, again, there could have been more character development for this crocodile.
Right.
You're right.
So they decide they're going to try to trap this thing by her house. They get another one of her cows. It's like, it would not be hungry.
But also, like, don't
it
kill
just
it.
ate a
We're
cow.
just going to murder this cow.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're like, don't worry. He goes, don't worry, I'm not killing it, and keep a promise. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Like, first of all, you're just dangling it over the water with a slow-ass helicopter. It's not meant to be carrying cows.
That also is in the air somehow for hours.
Yeah.
It is daylight when they start out, and then fully night.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing that helicopters can do at all.
No.
So,
are they refill? Is someone like jumping up there to refill the tank real quick? Like,
I like another helicopter with a tube.
So it becomes nighttime. The crocodile finally comes out to feed on this cow, but of course he pulls the cow and
then they're about to give up too. Like, let's pack it in for the night, guys.
He pulls the cow down, and of course the helicopter comes right down because this is a big, strong, fucking crocodile.
Yeah, so strong.
Yeah.
So strong.
And this helicopter's a shitty helicopter.
Yeah. So the helicopter goes right down, but the stupid crocodile tries to attack them through the helicopter and gets stuck in the helicopter. But they're like...
What a dumb fake crocodile.
They're like, well... You know what? It's trapped now.
And they still they shot it with a trank earlier, so we just gotta wait it out now. But it's a giant crocodile, and they shot it with a little baby.
Yeah, you need multiple tranquilizers.
You have to remember she falls in the water too, so she has to dodge it.
Yeah.
And this really stupid scene where she's just holding her breath for 15 full minutes.
Yeah.
And then you watch. It shows where her shoe goes into a little thing. And her foot got stuck. And I'm stuck. And
yeah.
There's no consequences, so I'll just swim to the surface and not even be out of breath.
But you guys, they have it trapped. They've gotten her out of the water, and they're about to trank this thing again. And guess what happens? Another fucking giant crocodile comes out of the water.
And you guys are like, you shouldn't be hungry. What if there's more than one?
There's more than one.
It's a lady.
And
it's this lady.
And unfortunately, they shoot the fuck out of the poor lady crocodile.
So by the way, you widowed this.
Yeah.
Crocodile. Yeah. What do you think this motherfucker's going to do?
Lake Placid 2 should be the revenge of this crocodile.
That's what I'm saying. And I would watch it 100%.
Yeah. We should. I've never seen that one.
They killed
Is
my
there
wife.
one? We were just joking.
No, there is really a Lake
Placid
Placid 2. I told you.
When I looked up Lake Placid, it was
I think
Lake
it's
Placid.
like a sci-fi original movie.
Do you mean Lake Placid 2? I was like,
wait. Is Oliver Platt in it, though?
I doubt.
He is the crocodile. He plays the crocodile.
Yeah.
He's like, everybody keeps dirty dozening. Everyone's like, you're fat and you're ugly.
Hey,
you're fat and you want to fuck me? Like,
it's like a who's talking now.
But his soul goes into the alligator.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
maybe this is going to be Lake Placid 3.
So they get the crocodile. They trank him. They're taking him out to the ocean.
And very unremarkable ending.
Yeah. She and Bill Pullman have their romantic moment or whatever.
And I was like, does no one ever make
Victor
a movie
goes off into the sunset. Yeah.
See, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I could have liked that because it wasn't she was like, I'm going to kiss you or something like that.
But the best part, you guys, is, and this is honestly one of the first reasons I really started listening to Bob Marley too, because I just loved this whole scene, is she comes out to the dock and she's throwing little bits into the water, and who comes along? 3 tiny little crocodiles, and they're like, and she's like, come and get it! And I just love it.
And even more giant crocodiles.
These crocodiles love bread, I guess.
But also, that's not how you make big crocodiles.
No, you can't
either.
make... They're not like goldfish where they just keep getting bigger.
And they would, but they'd have to have, an abundant amount of food. So either she's feeding, cows a day to these things, or there's just so many people dying in there.
Maybe she had, a Yellowstone-type ranch that we don't know about.
Right.
With just hundreds of cattle on it, but we just didn't see that part of the ranch.
So as a monster flick, this movie falls the fuck flat. But as a great film,
I really enjoyed it.
I will watch it again. This is not the last time.
This is not the best movie of all time, but this might be one of the better to best movies we've watched in Bradford.
Okay, how about this? Is it your favorite Bridget Fonda movie?
By far.
It might be my favorite Oliver Platt movie too.
Right?
Because I also can't name another one.
It might be my second favorite Brendan Gleeson movie.
How many?
28 Days Later, of course, being the first one.
How about a Bill Pullman movie, Matt?
No.
Shut up.
Bill
How dare you?
Independence Day. So.
Well,
I don't want to burn this, though. I really enjoyed it. I said that in the beginning. I was like, I kind of like the music. But then I was like, I'm interested, and it wasn't too long. Like a movie like this has.
It had a good composition.
Yeah, it just was like beginning,
Oh
middle,
God.
end, get done with it. There were stupid characters, but it wasn't so long. Like I didn't have to like worry about Oliver Platt's backstory.
And one of the good things about like kind of they rushed a lot of dialogue was that the jokes that fell flat just were like
Yeah, on the next
mowed right over.
On the next one. Yeah, exactly. Like if your movie's not that great, just make it short. It's better.
Yeah.
True story, dude. True story. The Matrix, you can take a page out of that one.
Yeah.
Matrix Resurrections.
Oh god.
Can't wait for the Snyder cut of Matrix Resurrections.
14 hours long.
And it's all hallelujah in the background. All right, well, I'm glad we're jumping back into this with a good movie, you guys. So,
and you know
ready
what?
for the next
This
one.
was a lot easier to burn than Harry Potter. That's so we couldn't do it. It was some
things are just
so
unburnable.
pithy.
Yeah.
But Brendan Gleeson, you still helped us out here. So
Yeah,
thank
so we still had Brendan Gleeson, and I think I'm pretty sure that
Bill Pullman played Peeves the Ghost, obviously.
Look, and Damian Lewis was in Harry Potter at some point,
Right? He's got him then.
Right?
Like
He
every
played
British
Mrs.
person
Norris.
is in-
He was
yeah.
Mrs. Norris.
Yes. So Mrs. Norris. That's
I'm
what I do
looking
my
up-
accent.
I'm looking up Oliver Platt movies, and I keep forgetting.
Also,
about all the
Gary
movies he's
Oldman
in.
was the crocodile. That's true.
Oh, right,
That's
yeah, true.
That's fully true.
He got an Academy Award for this, if I remember correctly.
I want to watch more Oliver Platt movies because he's in Flatliners, which is a fucking horrible, great movie.
I've definitely seen Flatline.
The Three Musketeers, also a great movie.
Always playing a heartthrob.
Oof,
yeah, no, seriously. Like, always
Leading
playing,
man.
like,
Stop
yeah,
trying to
seriously.
make fetch happen,
Ah,
guys.
this is like Josh Gad is this.
Oh no, I wrote that he is. I actually wrote that he is. He's the '90s Jonah Hill.
Yep.
Like, he's like, look how cool I am. We're like, no, you're not.
No,
we're
no,
good.
fam. We don't.
We're good, man.
Guys, don't burn this. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
fine.
a great movie.
It's a good movie.
Go
It's
watch
fine.
It's
it.
not a great movie. It's a good movie, though.
It's great if you're really drunk.
It's a great
But
movie.
also, stay classy.
Or you're 13 years old.
Or you're a 13-year-old girl.
If you watched it in 1999.
Bye-bye.
Bill Pullman.